So, ready, we're taking pictures and all that good stuff. We're recording on cameras. And the screen's not facing us. It's all right.
Hey.
You like that? You like that music on
I do.
Oh, this is your original?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
I didn't make it.
Hey.
Yes. And we're back for another episode of The Inn. Welcome. Nice to have you. To my left is the lovely Angie Jerez.
Hey.
Hey. And to her right, we have...
To my left.
Oh, yeah, that's right. See, I might be dyslexic today. We have the lovely Keshia Martin.
Hey,
Welcome.
everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to have you two here.
Likewise.
Yeah, how are you
Definitely.
doing, Ange?
Huh?
She's sleepy.
I'm always sleepy.
She's sleepy. She gets here. So Angie, she travels from North Jersey to and she like sends me a message and she's like, look, I need a bathroom, I gotta do my makeup, and I'm hungry. So we have to order something.
That's true.
So,
That's exactly how it went down.
That's exactly.
I still have the message. I still have it. So so we ordered some Five Guys, and we're not gonna. Well, I already put you out there. She's fake vegan.
I am not fake vegan. It was a veggie burger.
All right. Yeah, was it? All right. That was a meaty smelling veggie burger. But all right.
I think I smelled it when I got in too.
Nah, but it's
I'm
all
joking.
good. So thank you for making the trip. It's all good. So our guest, Keshia Martin. Well, who is Keshia Martin? Keshia is a vibrational healing coach. She says, be the energetic match and unlock your spiritual gifts.
Yes.
How does one do that?
Ooh.
He's
We're gonna start
right in.
He went right in, didn't he?
Yes, I did. And I'm just aggressive like that at times.
I see. Well, being the energetic match is actually what we are, but it's trying to get into that desire and holding your boundaries, so that way you actually attract the things that you truly want versus the things that are just coming at you now. Because if you think about it, we're always attracting things. We're always bringing things to us. But it's like a lot of times people find themselves with obstacles and more things wrong. But to get out of it, you have to really lock into your true desire, raise your vibration to do that.
Okay. Bring your mic a little bit closer.
Okay.
So I always, everybody's getting into this energy thing, vibrations and frequencies, and everybody says the same thing. You have to, higher your vibration. How do you do that? Like, okay, what do I do? Do I shake a little more? Do I just stay still? How do you have a higher vibration?
Well, there are a couple of ways. That's a great question. I remember when I first started, I wondered the same thing. And I was like, well, who says that my vibration's low?
Exactly.
Right? And then they say that when you're growing, more obstacles come to you anyway. So how do I know I'm not growing? So I used to wonder the same exact things. But it actually, there's two ways, So that one is with your mind, where you're actually starting to meditate. You probably heard of everyone starting to meditate, get their crystals and things like that. So you do the meditations, and then outside of the meditations, it's also like a mindset thing. It's that process of unlearning the things that you've learned throughout the years to relearn what we should have been taught from the beginning.
Absolutely.
To reprogram
Ourselves. Yes.
Roll your mic up just a little bit. The angle. She's scared of it. I don't know. I don't know why she's afraid of the mic. We've been fighting with this mic since she got in. Like, I was too big. It's in my face. It's all good.
You know what?
That's what she said.
It helps raise your vibrations.
Hey, you know what?
It does, actually.
That's a good question. So when raising your vibration is clearing your mind, reprogramming, and I believe not just your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind, because that's very important as well, right?
Definitely, yes.
All right, since you guys were, laughing about this, and you said it raises your vibration, does sex help raise your vibration?
Definitely.
Solo sex too, or just has to be a couple? Like masturbation, would masturbation help?
Oh
you
yeah,
raise
if you know.
vibration?
Oh yeah. So if you now sex, how we know it, it's all been like really watered down. So it's become like this big erotic thing. It's become more dirty, and a lot of people aren't receiving any gratification out of it except fun or physical. Pleasure, right? And then they're releasing stress, or they're getting rid of releasing the endorphins, and that stuff. Now, on a spiritual level,
Oh shit.
how sex is really designed to make you spiritually sexy. There is our sacral chakra, which is located right in where our womb is, our sexual organs, and it controls our sexuality and our creativity. It's also one of the grounding chakras for our kundalini when we start to awakening our divine masculine and feminine energy. Now, when you can lock in your mind with the energy while you're doing that, whether it's through masturbation or during the act with a person, you can really learn how to harness and control your energy. And that's when you really start to master and unlock things within yourself.
Oh shit.
Interesting.
Okay.
How do you, because you're saying control your energy, how do you actually feel or control your energy? I know there's people that say that they can see their aura.
Yes.
They can see it like if you stand in front of a white wall, you can probably see your aura. And I've tried, and I think that I've seen it. But energy, how do you actually feel it, and how do you know it's that energy? I mean, I know being a beat, maybe you have a lot of energy, or when you sit down, you're shaking your foot. Is that you have too much energy going on right now? How do you identify energy?
It's actually a habit that you would have to develop. Now, one of the things that I teach is meditations. And when I teach my meditation classes, I actually do it at the Truly Yoga Studio, but I also have meditations on my website, and they're guided meditations that does exactly what we're speaking about. And it's built in with energy. So that way it draws your awareness to your body and bringing your mind, body, and spirit all together. So you have a greater awareness to actually feel the energy within your body.
All right, so it's mostly mental in your mind.
It's
Not
physical also.
But it starts with your mind. You have to, like anything else, you have to commit, right? You have to make the decision, like, okay. Like with meditation, like you have to relax your body, but you can't relax your body until you relax your mind, right? Which means you don't think about stressful things like.
Well, they come. I mean, I'm sure you get that a lot. Like someone sits down and just trying to meditate, and their thoughts are just rushing through your mind, and then you try to get rid of them, but they come right back in. So, I mean, that takes practice as well, I'm sure.
It does. It does.
But that's what Keshia's here for.
Exactly.
That's how that's how she makes it happen. So you are also the author of a book.
I am.
Where's your book? Hold that book up.
My book is right.
Can see. Yeah, it's right
there.
There's your camera.
There it is, right there.
Open.
It's called Open Let Life Make Sense. And it's my personal journey, my spiritual journey on how I awakened and started to be a healer, started to do all the things that I'm doing now. And also, it also incorporates channeled messages that I've received with automatic writing and times of my own confusion because I thought this was going crazy. Just to help folks understand their awakening, because I believe that all of us have gifts. We each have our own inner genius. Why?
I didn't do nothing.
I know you.
I didn't do. I'm just here.
You're just listening.
I'm taking this all in. I'm trying to. This is what happens when you have history with people. You try to interview them. That's all. That's what's going on here, people.
So, anyway, I believe a lot of people have their own inner genius, and I help them to unlock those actual gifts. I believe that society has created a lot of ways to conform people, where it has pulled us away from understanding our true spiritual essence. A lot of folks don't even realize that they have a spirit inside of them. Mm-hmm. And now science is starting to come in and realize that, okay, there is something to this whole thing. Like even when a person passes away, there's a percentage, there's a weight that they can't account for.
21 grams.
There it is.
21 grams.
They can account for your the oxygen that leaves your body, your muscle, your mass, all of that wonderful stuff. But there's that
21 grams
that they can't account for, which equals the spirit. Yeah,
that is
That makes a lot of sense. That's something I thought about once. I was like, okay, thoughts are things, but they're not tangible things, right? So are thoughts spiritual? You could say that. Because you know they're there, you know they're there, they exist, they're in your mind.
It's energy. It's energy.
Yeah,
like
energy.
It's literally electrons and neurons and how they fire. Because here's the interesting thing is like your soul is your soul, right? And you can be one way, but you could have a head injury, and that could completely alter who you are. I mean, we actually have a mutual friend who was kind of a fuck up, and then he got in a car accident. Straight legit fuck up. I mean, and he knows it, and we love him to death. He had a car accident. He got head injury. He went into a coma. When he woke up the most responsible person you would ever meet.
Maybe spirits changed. His spirit got out and got a new one.
No, I mean, like, it's just like
I don't know. You got a good spirit,
right? I mean, I think we have the potential to be many different people. We can be
absolutely no. And I know people that are schizophrenics and are acting a certain way at one point, if they're on meds, and then act another way when they are.
Right. So CTE, concussion, like all these football players doing crazy things, and it's like, well, they done bang their brain up, so there's energy, there's chemical and stuff, but above and beyond all that, there is our soul and our spirit, which Keshia, can you see our auras right now? Can you see hers? Can you see mine?
I'm not great at seeing auras,
okay,
but I'm good at seeing energy within the body.
Oh, shit.
So how's my energy?
Let me ask you this. Do you feel something in your heart space right now?
Yes.
Like a little coolness right in your heart? That's me sending energy to that space right there.
That's pretty cool.
Send energy elsewhere. Let's see.
I wanted to answer that question that you had earlier. Is how do you feel energy in your body?
So how do you do that? Well, you must your experience.
Yeah. So that's what's wonderful about the meditations that I teach is that when you practice it, you start to build that habit of feeling energy within your own body. And then the teachings, I have like courses online where it teaches you how to learn how to connect with others so you can use it as your daily practice.
Damn, Keshia got superpowers.
You feel that, right?
Yeah.
That is dope. Hold on. Clap that up. Okay. Keep asking the questions,
So
Angie,
if you walk in a room, right, and there's this one person that's just a bad apple, and you go into that room and you say you could just feel it. This is not a good person.
Right.
That not.
I might feel it before I go and say I'm not going.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can usually sense things ahead of time, and I can pick up what may if it's a good option for me to do or not option. Now, the only time it gets into a challenge for me is when I step back into my human self. And then I start overthinking, and then then I step away from my spiritual being and trusting, and then I could be like anyone else, But the more you practice, the more you begin to rely on your intuition, your spiritual gifts, and then the less and less stress and anxiety you start to have in your life. Make sense?
That makes perfect sense. So I'm glad you're here because you could have easily been like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I'm gonna pass on this. So that is so there's a lot of people out there who ignore those gut feelings.
Oh yeah.
And so what do you have to tell those people about those who like ignore those gut feelings like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do this. How do you help those people, I should say?
There's actually two ways. Now, with the gut feelings, what happens is the brain starts to send a signal to your amygdala, right? And then you have like your fear and your flight sensations. Now, when you're on your spiritual path and you start to become aware of your actions and start to want to hone in to how your body's feeling, the same butterfly feelings and the anxiousness that you're having when something great's about to happen is also the same feeling you're having when fear is kicking in, And then that's when the mind starts like, well, what should I do? and then you ignore it, and then you find out the hard way that was your intuition speaking, you know? So when you first begin, one of the hardest practices is actually identifying how your intuition communicates with you. And that was one of my hardest challenges, was identifying that these were actual gifts. This was coming from God. This was coming from a higher place of being.
Right.
Because it made me question my own sanity. It wasn't something that I was like looking for. I was happy as a little designer.
Right.
Taking pictures.
Right.
Doing my graphics and smiling. I was happy. And then folks were like, "Do you know you're a healer?" And I was like, "They're trying to recruit me for church. I don't know what's going on. Let me just get the job done and keep it moving." But the advice to give them would be to learn how to identify what you're feeling. Probably get a journal to document when you notice something, so that way you can start to learn yourself. And then to taking more quiet times within you, not just meditating. And meditation doesn't always have to be just like sitting still with your hands closed, eyes and closed. Right. Meditation could be whatever is in your flow. Like mine could be dancing. I love to dance. And I've noticed that a lot of my movement with energy has come through dance as well. So that's a great way to do it. I offer coaching, and that way I can tune in with the person to see what exactly is going on, and I can help them figure it out. The crutch, the part I have to really kind of put a wall up and say, no, I'm going to be like a mom here in this situation. I'm going to be a real coach, is I am not your psychic. I'm going to help you. When they want to call me to figure out, does he really want me? Should I really take this job? And then I'm like, well, what does your gut say? And then they're like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, touch back to the whole meditation thing, because actually one of the things that I feel like that I do, which is weird, I realized it was kind of meditative, is nerdy activity, but building model cars, like painting. And I, some Friday nights, and this is a stretch because for years of being a DJ, Friday nights I'd be out working somewhere, running the streets. Here I am in my studio, airbrushing model cars, taping stuff, and I had so much great information coming to me as I'm working, because I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just focusing on the task at hand, and just information is coming, and it's like ideas are coming. It's amazing. So, you don't have to. Meditation does not mean like what she was saying, or it could be building model cars. It could be working out. It could be cleaning.
Cleaning does it great for me too.
So I was about to say, this might sound very crazy, but
here we go.
This might sound very crazy, but one of my most sacred moments that I love is just closing myself in the bathroom and picking on my face. I could spend hours with a mirror just picking on my face, and it's like the most quiet and gratifying time that
what
I
do you
can
mean by picking
at your
face? Like little wet heads and stuff, and
popping pimples.
Maybe
you should have been a dermatologist.
Yeah.
I just sit and I just enjoy that. I mean, can that be considered a meditation time? I'm not thinking about my problems. I'm not thinking about Valentina. I'm not thinking about anything else. Work. I'm not thinking about work. I'm just there.
Does it bring you joy?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's just there by myself, just picking on my face.
No, I'm not mad at you. I think that counts. I'm going to give that to you.
Okay. What about playing Candy Crush? Does that count as meditation?
Yeah, I think any
activity, whether it's coloring.
I have my daughter, and then I have work, and then when I have these moments that I'm by myself in my bed, I could probably be just playing a game on my phone. I actually find that very peaceful.
I've done that too, as well as coloring. I've even pulled out some old coloring books from the kids and started, or the adult, drawing books, and it's just another way of stimulating your mind, or just unplugging from its usual thought patterns.
Right. Okay.
And that's why I mentioned that, because when I'm in that moment, I'm not thinking about any problems, or there are not thoughts coming, to my head and out. Like even when I'm trying to meditate, I think I have more thoughts than when I'm locked in the bathroom picking on my face.
But I think that's good, right? Because the point of meditation, for me at least, okay, is that the information that's coming in, like. I've always been an inventive person, but when I am doing something that I can focus in on, when I get ideas or like there will be problems that I have waited worked through for months, and then it'll just click right there. I got it, and that it's hard to get that information when you're distracted doing this, that, and the other. But you want that information. It's just sorting it out. So I don't know. Maybe picking your face isn't necessarily meditation. It's just.
Well, what's happening when she does that, right?
Well, she's like, nothing's coming in. She's like, I'm just picking.
Yeah.
Well, her attention is,
done.
yeah. So what happens when she's doing that is that her mind isn't focused on, which a lot of people have this challenge. When they start to meditate, they focus on the fact that I'm not supposed to be thinking about anything.
Yeah.
And then once they do that, then they focus, then every thought that they didn't want to come in starts to come in. So it's kind of like the law of attraction. Well, it is the law of attraction where you start to attract what it is you focus on the most. Yes. And at that moment, you're focusing on, I don't want to think about anything. I'm supposed to have my mind clear. Yeah. And then and because I don't want to think about anything, you're getting exactly what you're asking for. You're asking, right. Don't think about this thought, and then they're coming through. When you're focused on your face, nothing else is on your mind but that one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So talking about law of attraction, what do you think about manifesting things? How true do you think it is that when you just act out the life that you want, or act like you have the things that you want? How true do you think it is that you will attract those things to your life,
girl?
and let me say this: vision boards. I want to mention that too, because I feel vision boards are. They don't really help because they're saying you don't have those things that you put there, which means now you're not going to manifest them because they're up on a wall saying I want them because I don't have them.
Right.
Instead of if I'm going to manifest them, I'd have to act like I already have them.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
I don't agree with just think and believe that it's already there the way it's been taught. I think there's an energetic behind it. I think there's something within yourself that actually has to click in for that to occur. I think just posting it on the picture and then on the wall doing the vision boards or writing 5 by 55. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Like you're writing what you want 55 times for 5 days straight. Right. They're all like goal setting techniques to help like unlock your mind to believe that you can actually achieve that particular goal. The challenge is they're all like surface things. You're not digging into the root. So it's kind of like when you're going in your garden and you're pulling out weeds, but then because you don't want to garden and mess up your nails and you don't have your gloves, you're pulling out just from the top. So the roots are still there. And then by the end of the week, that same weed is growing back. So with the law of attraction with that example in regards to see it and believe it and trust that you're there, or laying on your floor and pretending you're in Tahiti on the beach and you're in a cold basement. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really connect. So what has to happen is there's a couple of things that need to happen internally so that way you can actually bring and attract those things to you.
Right. So emotions, you have to actually feel.
Yeah, exactly. You have to believe it and have the desire for it.
And have emotions, feel happy about it.
I'm a big proponent of vision boards and writing things down.
Me too.
Because you're reminding yourself. Mm-hmm. It's not witchcraft where if you put the vision board, it's going to happen. It is reminding you. So when you're tired and you don't want to work that extra hour, or you don't want to make the particular sacrifice, and you look at the vision board and you're like, yeah, I want that house, or I want that car, I want whatever it is that you have on there. That's a reminder of, okay, yeah, I need to get my ass in gear and push a little harder. And then when you get to that point where you can actually attain those things, you actually get that's on the board. Because sometimes we get distracted. Like we might have, let's say, I'm going to use car because I'm a car guy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, I really wanted a Porsche 911. Okay, and then I get to the point where I have $200,000 to get the Porsche 911 I want, and I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna get the Mercedes Benz, like
right.
So having a vision board just kind of keeps you on track, and it's just one exercise in many. It's not the one thing that's going to get you over the top. It is just one thing, just a reminder. So I mean, look, I've been envisioning all this for months, and look where we're at. And when I first got the vision, I'm like, how am I gonna afford the equipment to get because it's funny. It's like I put it out there on Instagram, like, I think I want to start a podcast, but I didn't have anybody to do the podcast because I didn't want to be the lone guy just talking shit on the mic for whatever.
Right.
And then this one's like, hey, like, the hell I'm here. Like, why don't you ask? And I'm thinking, well, you're like 2 hours away. Are you really gonna, how can we make this work?
Right.
Look
and
where we're at. Mm-hmm. In my head. So vision boards, come on.
Well, yeah, I as a reminder, I think it's a good thing, but not like. I feel like not like people are some people use them as, even though I have a very weird story. I had a vision board. I had read the law of attraction. I had a vision board, and I had put a picture up of a couple in this very remote area, like looked like it was Italy, and they were walking together holding hands, right?
Uh-huh.
So I didn't have a partner at the time, and I had my vision board there for, 2 years. I met my daughter's father. He took me to the Dominican Republic, and there was this place called La Romana where they have this remote place. It looks like Italy, very rocky, and we walked, and I was like, wow, this is exactly how that picture I have in my vision board, right? So I come back home, and then, weeks later, I say, let me just take off the things I already have from my vision board. And when I take off that piece of paper that I had taken out of a magazine, I didn't notice that in the bottom part there was a fine print. And I read the fine print, and it said, La Romana, República Dominicana.
Wow.
It was the same exact place I had gone with him. Jeez. And I get chills still just saying that story.
That was on your vision board.
Yeah, I know, but
what?
Sometimes I don't want to believe it, but then I was like, wait, this happened to me. So how crazy is that?
That makes sense because your deeper desire was to want to go on that trip. So recently I had put out in the universe, I was like, you know what? I want to get a piano for my daughter. And that's all I said. It was on no vision board. I didn't write it down on a piece of paper yet, nothing. And like 2 days later, someone's like, oh, I know someone giving out a piano. Would you like it? Just like that. So, and that's just like one of many. So there's times like where I just really want something and it just shows up like the following day or the next week.
I think it's because when you put no resistance to it.
Exactly.
Then it flows easy.
When you start thinking all these things and putting circumstances on the how it should come to you, when it should come to you, and you put boundaries, then you limit the universe. And that's where, when it comes to money, when it comes to love, the things that we're uncertain about, or where people try to put a lot of constraints on the request. Now, if they want a hamburger, somebody treat them for lunch, they'll be like, man, I hope somebody treat me to lunch today. And then they might go somewhere and then they get that meal.
You have to, and I mean, you have to put it out there. I mean, there's science to it. I mean, people there's people out there right now listening and they're saying, oh, this is magical stuff. No, it's actually a science. It's like, if you want, you got to put yourself in a position to get what you want. And writing things down and creating a vision board or whatever you do, it's action.
And when you say science, there's actually actual science. So it's like we are like TV broadcasters.
Right.
What we're putting out with our minds, we're getting back.
In return, exactly.
You know what I'm about to put out?
What?
A break. We're going to take a break. We're going to do some things, and when we come back, we will continue with the lovely Keshia Martin, the coach. Yeah, let's do that thing. So we'll see you on the other side, guys. Okay, we are back. Keshia's making fun of me. It's all good.
It's all with love.
I forgot to fix your mic. Angle up just a little bit.
Like this?
Yeah, there you just like that. Just like that. See, it's all good. All right, you ready to answer some questions? The standard questions? Maybe. The questions that we ask everyone that comes here. Yeah, come on. You can do it. All right, question 1. What motivates you in your professional career?
What motivates me? To help others. I actually want more conscious people. Okay. More friends.
Yeah, that understand, right? That understand what you're doing.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, that motivates me a lot because I see how many people are struggling. It shows up in their physical bodies. I can see it, Anyone who has any physical ailments right now, addictions, they're all dealing with these same energetic breaks.
Right.
There's blockages.
There's a deficit.
Yeah.
And it shows in unhappiness, and unhappiness is the beginning of all bad things.
Exactly.
Emotional.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. All right.
the outside's a reflection of the inside.
There you go. Oh. Y'all hear that? Our audience loved that response. All right. Was there a particular moment that woke you up and caused you to throw caution to a wind and aggressively bet on yourself?
Yes.
What happened?
Well, you've known me a long time, so I've always had the same friends and the same circle of people. And I grew up I'm Jamaican, so I grew up in a very tight-knit type of family. And when I started to awaken and certain life changes happened to me, I lost a lot of them. Matter of fact, I remember sitting down one day and just praying and saying, listen, if anybody, because like I heard, like if you, whatever the power is in your prayer. And I was like, well, if anybody's not for me, if anybody in my circle, and I was naming like all of them, like family, friends, if they're not for me, then remove them. Like make it to the point they don't call me, I don't call them, whether or not we have anything or any animosity or us is nothing. And let me tell you, for the next 30 days, I didn't talk to any of them. Even if I called, and I was like, wow. So then when I realized that all these people weren't for me and my best purpose, that's when it forced me to actually pay attention to what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isolation is good. And I think we generally run from it. Like we always seek the comfort of other people, but it's in those quiet moments that you're able to potentially figure out a lot of things because you don't have any distractions.
Right. Because when I started learning about what's going on with me, when I started seeing things and having these weird experiences, whether I'm healing or whatever the case may be, picking up on something on somebody, the people closest to me at the time were like, Keshia, what kind of stuff you dabbling in?
It's those roots, girl.
And I was like, I'm not dabbling in anything. But I realized it was for the best, that each of us just had to go on different paths. And some of them were able to reconnect because they had to learn something. So then whatever unforgiveness, like once you start to forgive and release that when you're going through those lonely periods, like sometimes folks have a way of conditioning themselves to just really holding on to that anger and never wanted to speak to that person or that member ever again. And what it does is it restrains you and puts another blockage in your system, and it can hold you up not in the same way that you have it. So say, for instance, you're not speaking with a person in your life. Maybe it's the father, your child, or someone in your life, a family member. This blockage can now create root in your career because now you have your self-esteem has gone down from that loss in that relationship, that rejection, that hurt and that pain. So now you feel as though maybe I can't do this right now. And then, or even, and that's just a subconscious belief that sits with you, and energetically it radiates out. So now when you're going to apply for something, or when you're going up when you're trying to level up somewhere else in your life, you can't, because energetically what you're sending out is saying, I'm not good enough. You can't trust me with this. I can't trust you with this because you'll leave. So I'm not going to put in 100%. And then that feeling of abandonment sits with you, and then you continue to bring in more things that create that mirror exactly what you're feeling inside.
A lot of sense.
Absolutely, perfect sense. All right, next question.
Yes.
What has been unexpectedly difficult about your professional journey, and what has been unexpectedly easy?
What has been unexpectedly difficult?
Yeah. I mean, if there's nothing been difficult, you don't have to make anything.
Being accepted, I guess, with this. Okay. But now it's starting to become more mainstream. So for the longest, I always have to watch how I say or just not say anything.
Right.
Yeah. And what has been exceptionally easy is actually just trusting it. And I'm like, oh, snap. It was that easy. This law stuff does work.
Absolutely.
I didn't have to draw the board, though.
Hold on.
Maybe They made me do 5 by 55 all day for no reason.
Hey, that's just a start. I mean, it's just like,
But it does help.
yeah,
Yeah,
it does help.
they're all tools to get you there.
It's just the foundation, right? It's the foundation. Okay. So, in what ways, good and or bad, has your life changed since you moved to this chapter of your life?
Good is that I'm more aware and I feel more peace. And I actually lost the anxiety aspect. At one point, I felt like I had anxiety all the time. I remember after they diagnosed me with it at the, I had a major car accident back in 2013, and they were giving me some medication. A lot of the stuff I wouldn't take, and the one I would take, I would use it for sleep. And she was like, that's not. And I wasn't falling asleep eventually, so I told her I stopped taking it, and they said, "Oh, you have anxiety." So I remember reading about anxiety, and I was like, "Well, that means I had it all my life, including everybody else around me." Right. But yeah, that's I forgot the question now.
How's your life changed?
It changed dramatically. Opening up, it did. Because then you have people that are really strong in church faith and certain things, and they think that what you're doing is wrong.
Right. Yes. We won't go down that road.
No.
This is too early in the podcast and pissing people off on that level. So, no, we won't go down there, but no.
That's a whole other show.
It's a whole other show. And I mean, essentially, you're challenging people's beliefs that they've rolled with all their lives. And so not everybody's ready to be challenged one way or the other. So,
and that was a thing I had to really dig into before I decided to accept this calling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what has been your greatest accomplishment and what has been your greatest mistake and how did you recover from that mistake?
My greatest challenge, accomplishment is being able to actually help and heal people. It's been like when they said I was a healer, it was something I had a lot of doubt on, because I really didn't understand how that would work. But then when I've helped folks and they told me, "Oh, you've done better than someone, my therapist I've been seeing for 24 months, or a back ailment that I've had for how many years is now gone," or I had a relative one time, and I'm not saying I do this, but I remember, maybe I should mention it.
No, you got to mention it now.
Yeah, started.
So he had cancer, and then we seen each other, and that was it. And I talked to him, and I did something like what I'm doing, with you, and except I worked on him, and then that was it. But I didn't expect anything. I just wanted to help him through his stage cancer. So months later, he came back, and we're all sitting around talking, and then he's like, they said they can't find like this tennis whatever size ball tumor that they had. And I'm like listening to him, like, "Oh, maybe something's up with the scan." And then he's like staring at me. And I'm like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" And then he's like, so he thinks it was me. And I was like, I said, I don't know let's see if it comes back. Right. He's still around and everything's fine, so we'll see. Okay. But it goes away, yeah. So things like that.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, to the second part of that question, have you felt like you've had any missteps or mistakes and that you had to like kind of regroup, recover from? Or?
Yeah, there's a couple people that crossed my mind, and I didn't know why they crossed my mind at the time. And then later on I heard something bad happened. Okay. Maybe it was a suicide or something else. And then I wish I had just picked up the phone and called just to have those questions.
Gotcha.
Because not all the time I see all the way through, but I'll have that feeling that something's going on with the person. So I usually make it a habit, and I think you've seen me do this before. "Hey, you all right?" Just out the blue.
I call those welfare checks. I was like, "Hey, just hit me up with a welfare check to see how you're doing." Yeah. Okay. If you could go back in time and give yourself advice, how far back would you go? Like what age, and what would you tell the younger you?
I'd probably go back to about 19 and tell myself, to actually start trusting what you're feeling, and that the things that you experienced before, you're not crazy, that this is your calling.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's dope. Okay. What goals are you working towards, and in what ways are you preparing yourself to tackle those goals? Like, what's next for you?
What's next is to really get as many people as possible subscribed into some of the courses. I want to actually start into doing more podcasts, maybe get on stage, start helping kids, helping people. I noticed a lot of folks in our own personal area, our back street. I know they said Jesus wasn't a prophet in his own land, but I want to be able to reach out and help as many youth as possible, as many women, people of color, not, let them know that it's okay to have this self-care and start going into these type of things to help themselves.
There you go. Give you props for that. All right, so last question. Life has decided to kick your ass with a major disappointment, like a heartbreak, career hit, whatever, right? What's the first thing you do to start your recovery process?
I go take a hot bath. I sit in the tub.
That's it?
Yeah, I put my little salts and my music on.
What else can you do?
And put the music on. And
That's it. All right. You survived the questions. There you go. All right. Okay. So I guess we can move on. That camera's about to die. Man, technology is failing me today.
Send energy. The camera.
Please send some energy that way. So, what's next? And I don't know. We're not going to take a break, right? If we just go down to one camera, go down to one camera. It's all good.
Worry.
Because that's what we do here. We're very flexible. So it's time for the next thing that we do, right? And look, I'm fussing with these buttons because I'm still learning.
Would somebody please answer that?
It is time for what's going down in the DM. Yes. As Angie plays with her hair, right? Because she's getting prepared. So,
It's like a fighter. I'm getting scared.
Nah, Keshia. So my mission in life is to help people to be less self-sabotaging, and I'm sure you probably had people hit you up in your DM with inappropriate messages, right? Maybe, just like try to fish around, like, what's going on?
Oh, trying to hit me up.
Yeah, hey, big head. That kind of stuff, right? So what I ask my followers to do is to send me screenshots of those conversations. We protect the identity, so and we reenact those conversations, because things said, when you write things down, it doesn't seem so bad, right? But then you read it out. I've read messages I've sent to people, like not to hit them up, like not to try to hit on them, but I'm like, that sounded bad. See, don't put me out there like that, Ange. So yeah, this is just our little attempt to make society a little bit better, a little bit more palatable on the social media front. And so today's conversation is a doozy. So you don't have to do anything. You just get to sit back and enjoy the ride. Send more energy to that camera while we're doing this. So, Angie, you will be the girl.
Yep.
Because she won't let me be the girl. She won't let me expand
I don't want to be the guy.
She don't want me to expand my acting chops. So
Oh no, your voice could possibly pass.
I can alter it. Look, I'll give you the claps. Oh, the claps is on the wrong screen there. I messed that up. All right, so here we go. Hey there.
What did you get into today?
Not a single thing. What about you?
I went to a barbecue and I did laundry.
Landry?
Laundry.
There you go. It's the Dominican. Oh, do my laundry. Barbecue sounds so good right now. I'm starving. What are you doing now?
This is the DM conversation.
Yes.
Gave the little guy a bath, and now we are watching a movie before bed.
Did you bathe?
Me? Not yet. I shower after he goes to bed.
When will that be?
In an hour.
Sucker. You went MIA last time. I asked for pics. Guess I'll get some tonight.
I sent you pics of Danny and I ate the beach blowing bubbles.
No, at the beach.
Oh, at the beach.
She's messing up. I hope no casting directors are listening. All right, so you can redo that line.
I sent you pics of Danny and I at the beach blowing bubbles.
I said of you, ma'am. You got any more tats?
I'm in the picture. Haha. And yes, I have 3 tats.
What other tats do you have?
My sir, did you not look at the pic? My whole body was in that shot. LOL. I have stars on my ankle and an angel on my side and a heart on my back. You?
Indeed, it was. I guess I got to be more specific. Standing full body.
I don't have any pics of them.
But you have a camera, right?
Yes, haha. But I'm not going to just take pictures of them. I'm in bed with my baby watching a movie.
I mean, after you watch your movie, when you go to shower.
Ew. This is starting to sound sketchy.
Why you say that? Sketchy.
I don't normally send my cousin's pics of my tats after a shower.
Let that wash over. This watch. Read the line again.
I don't normally send my cousin's pics of my tats after I shower.
What?
Yes.
My
Laugh out.
cousin?
Did you
See,
say
we
cousin?
don't practice this. We do this all off the cuff, right? Ha ha ha. Here you go. We'll be unnormal today. A hush goes over the crowd. You can just do shocked.
Shocked.
Why you shake your head? What does that mean?
That means I'm going to bed.
No, don't do that. And scene.
So she, I was thinking at the beginning, like, why is she just so engaged in this conversation?
Yes, that was her cousin.
Because it was her cousin.
Her first cousin. Not her play cousin. Not a second cousin. Not, yeah, her
I can't take it back, so is there something else I can do to
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
My God, this is so disturbing. I'm thinking about my cousins.
The two of them were engaged all the way.
But
Right.
she
was
was actually a little bit innocent at the beginning. Like, she didn't know what. When she said ew,
Yeah, like,
she's like, wait, what's going on?
right.
This is starting to sound sketchy.
Yes. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, cousin. So yes, that went down in the DM.
Wow.
Yeah,
cousins.
the cousins. Yeah, the cousins. I mean,
Come on, people.
we
No.
gotta
I mean,
do
that
better.
might-
All these people in the world, and you want to go after a
I mean,
cousin?
that might work for some people, but obviously this girl has no clue.
Nah,
She didn't. Not in the
Yeah.
beginning. No, she didn't. Wasn't think.
she's a friend of mine, and she's extremely attractive. So I kind of get it on his end,
No,
and they
come
didn't
on.
grow
It's
up.
like-
They didn't.
They didn't grow up together. They had to be not
They
grown
didn't
up.
grow up together, but it's
Yeah.
still like
You have to
That's
remember.
Boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's family.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
I was getting ready to say, I don't think they grew up together.
No, they didn't grow up together. So if that kind of works at all for him, but yeah, so we did that. So that's that. Again, if you have DM conversations that you would love to share, send them our way. You can hit me up on the Instagram at DJ Silk, DJSILK, or the show Instagram page, which is at The End Podcast, all one word. Angie.
So you guys can find me on my website. It's angiejerez.com. That's ANGIEJEREZ. And there you can find my social media accounts, which is Angie_Jerez or Jerez. I'm sorry.
Jerez, come on now. And so send us though, and again, we protect we'll change names and all that stuff. So, and if somebody hits you up in your DM from here on out, play with them, draw it out so we can have a little bit more script. Yeah, because I'm just being that, what's the word?
Hey.
No, I'm being opportunistic. Like,
It was entertaining.
yeah, because it is. Like, yeah.
You don't think that would happen? Yeah, it does.
So we will catch you guys on the other side. We'll finish things out.
Her
Well, no, because she doesn't want DM conversation sent to her.
No, but she wants people to look at her website.
Go ahead, Keshia.
Thank you.
I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead. You do. You
No,
wanted
go
to introduce
ahead,
me
go
that
ahead.
way?
No, go ahead. Keisha, how did they find you again?
On my website
Yes.
at the DM conversations. no DMs.
No, yeah, it's all professional.
No, all professional. So it's Keshia, KESHIA Martin.com.
There you go. You don't want them on your Instagram?
You can follow me on my Instagram. It's Keshia Martin
Okay.
_. as well.
Okay. All right. So we'll catch you guys on the other side, and we'll keep this going. Yeah, that's all. We're going to keep that part of Angie's stories.
You write a book, man.
There we go. There you. I just like the way you're handling that mic now, Keshia.
You know what?
Yes, she's getting it. All right, well, it is time to answer some advice questions. Are we ready?
I am ready.
So, we'll each take a turn, stab at it, give our best advice. All right, so first question. Help. I've been in what I think is a committed relationship for the past few years. We have a child together and bought a house together. She's a great mom and couldn't treat me better. The only issue is that she never told me that she loved me, and we've never had the commitment conversation. When I bring those things up, she gets angry and distant. I know that she's gone through some rough situations in the past, but I don't understand why she can't commit to me or tell me that she loves me. I'm thinking about walking away if she doesn't change her tune. What should I do?
Is this a girl or a guy?
This is a guy.
It's a guy.
Sounds like a guy.
There you go.
No.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Keisha, you're up.
What should he do? So he wants to know.
He wants a commitment. He wants
and she
to
won't.
have the conversation. Yes, he wants all of that. He wants the commitment.
Oh,
They haven't had the conversation.
they haven't had. How long have they been together?
It's
They have
a
a-
few years. They don't have a.
And they haven't had that conversation. They need to have a conversation.
Okay.
How important is it to him?
Okay. Clearly, it's important because he wrote to me. All right. Look.
I think he needs to address his concerns with her and why it's important to him.
What is it with men in conversation? I'm just kidding.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I think he needs to address the fact that it's important to him and why it's important to him, and then he has to make a decision if he wants to wait or leave.
Okay. All right. Even avoid the distance. Angie, you feel you on the same page as her?
Absolutely. I mean, sit down and talk about it and
All right.
figure things out.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, I couldn't tell him to leave, and then he's not ready to leave yet. Because if he's not ready to leave, he's only going to, make the demands he's going to leave or threaten that he's going to leave, and then he's going to end up going back.
Okay. All right. This is where I'm at with this. All right. This
I think
guy's
it's different than what we have.
Yeah, it's
bring it.
different. It's different. He's a chump. And the reason why he's a chump, I'm sorry, I'm joking. Right? I'm just being dramatic, right? But no, see, here's my issue. Here's my issue with this, right? He's putting more value on a conversation than he is on the actual situation. You have a child together. You bought a house together. She's taking care of him. He's taking care of her. She's a great mom.
You're like, what's more commitment than that?
Right. You can't, other than a conversation, actions speak louder than words. And there are plenty of people out there that are in committed relationships and they are not doing those things. They're running around. They're not treating the person well. So if you're willing to walk away walk away from a situation like that because you haven't had the we're boyfriend, girlfriend talk, or we're engaged or we're getting married, to me, that's ridiculous. That's wanting what you want just because you want it. And you're not looking at the fact that you can't get any more committed than that. You can't stop cheating. She should get a leg up. No, so in a situation like that, you gotta look at what it is. Like, ignore. She can't.
I guess I was confused because for him to be married, to have the place together, have a child together, bought a house, and they signed legal documentation together. That's pretty much saying that you guys are together.
Right. Exactly. So
I think what he's looking for is he wants more her to.
He wants the actual. Okay.
He wants to have the conversation, but what good is
it really that? Is the conversation really about being a boyfriend girlfriend, or does he just want to hear how she cares about him more? What's the conversation that he's looking for?
If he wants to have the conversation, just have the conversation.
But she gets distant when he tries to have. She gets angry and distant. Like,
she has things she hasn't let go of.
Yeah, she has
past experiences of pain.
She has her issues.
He does too.
Yeah, he has an issue that he wants. I'm gonna go back to he's a chump.
Well, he's looking for self-validation through her.
Right.
So that's his issue, is
Yeah,
that because
exactly.
she's not saying or doing things a certain way for him, then he feels as though she doesn't love him.
Right.
Where her love language is to show him by, doing
The
what she's
actual
doing.
things that happen when you're committed to someone, which is there's nothing heavier than bringing a life together and
Right.
buying a home together and then being a mom. She's a great mom and couldn't treat me better.
Yeah, so then
Right.
but-
So
Like, get
so,
over
so I
yourself.
think he needs to figure out what he's lacking in the
Like,
relationship.
why does he
You
need
might
that
mess this up.
validation?
Yeah, he's messing. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
yeah. There's some self-validation that he needs to look
Hey,
into.
You a Trump. No, I'm kidding. Look, you need to work that out, man. You can't have it all. And in this case, you can't have the conversation that says where you're at because you're already there. You're already there. You have everything. So enjoy it. Love her, love your child, love your home, love the relationship.
And accept her for who she is,
Right.
because she came with that baggage the day you met her.
Right.
So if you've been able to provide for her all of these years and take care of her and show her that love, then the next thing I would recommend is maybe buying the book, The 5 Languages of Love, and learning your love languages,
Right.
so that way you can improve your communication and work better together as a team.
That's beautiful, Keisha. I like that. There you go. All right. Next situation. I've been what I thought was happily married. I've been what I thought was happily married for the past 12 years. My husband told me that he's no longer attracted to me because I had let myself go. I admit that I gained a lot of weight over the past couple of years. I'm heartbroken because that he feels this way, and I'm scared because he's been distant. I'm also angry with him because I don't feel like he's living up to his marital vows of for better or worse. Am I wrong for being hurt and angry? And what should I do? Keisha.
Lose weight.
true.
Well, he didn't meet you that way. If not, he would have been looking for a woman that was more obese at the time. So,
More obese?
can you edit that out?
No, I'm not with it.
All right. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Yeah, we are attracted to who we're attracted to, and for better or worse, doesn't mean that we have to now deal with you not flushing the toilet when you're done, or letting yourself go. Because what we're attracted to is what we are attracted to, and it may hurt to hear that he's not physically attracted to you because you have let yourself go. And what this does is it hurts at first, but most pain and growth does. And what you do is you reflect in and say, well, what happened to make me not put myself first anymore? Why am I not practicing self-care Saturdays? Why am I not working out or eating the right foods to make me feel physically attractive for myself? And then it's not just the weight, because usually when you make changes to your physical body, we were talking about energy, it's more of what else is going on with you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So overall, you're now not on the same path, but you're moving into separate directions.
Yep. That's right.
What say you, Angie Hedges?
I'd say the same thing. They've been together for 12 years, which means something works. And but now he's not physically attracted to her. And it's like she said, that's not who he met.
Right.
And you changed. And maybe now he's not attracted to you because of that. And I gotta say, this tends to happen to women when they have kids and things like that. And some of them, it's physical, but as I always say, it's conversations and self-care. You do have to have some self-care, not only for your husband, but yourself as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Okay. So, yeah. See,
And it goes for men too. I think that if a man puts on weight and that's not what she signed up for, it goes both ways. That has to, say, all right, somehow we kind of got lost in the shuffle with the busy lives and our goal setting. But now that we slow it down a little bit, let's get back on track with our physical.
See, this is absolutely amazing because I thought I was going to be the asshole to be like, well, he didn't pick her like that, So here's the good news, right? The first part is that she didn't mention anything about having any health issues or anything that would have caused her to gain weight. Because sometimes life happens.
That's true. That does happen.
Accidents or whatever. So this is a problem that is relatively easily solved. The other great part about this is he's communicating.
Exactly.
He's letting her know, look, this is what I'm not happy with. It's no secret as we get older, we gain weight, we're in relationship, life gets in the way. If you value the relationship, you got to get over yourself and get in the gym, change your diet, at least put the effort in and see what's up. Because I mean, 12 years, that's a lot. That's a lot of time and investment, and
Probably kids too.
yeah, kids
Right.
and stuff. So, and he loves you enough to let you know that he's unhappy, and that's a lot of people don't do that. What
That's
do they
true.
do? They just like they check out, and then before you know it, the relationship's over. So, work on your physical thing. Make it a together thing. Like, hey, let's start
Exact.
walking. Let's like change the household and do it. Make it a family thing and go from there. But yeah, most people might think you should be angry and hurt. But for better or worse, for me that means like when life happens,
Exactly.
but you letting yourself go to that extent, that's not for better or for a worse thing, in my personal opinion. So, all right. So let's do the last question. All right. So, hi. So my best friend happens to be a guy, and he's always been there for me. It would be a perfect situation if he didn't have a crush on me. When we first met, he tried to talk to me, but I quickly friend zoned him. For the most part, everything has been fine between us, but every once in a while, he will hint around about being more than just friends. When we first met, I turned him down because I had just gotten out of a bad relationship and I wasn't ready for anything. I'm attracted to him now, but I'm afraid if I try dating him and it doesn't work out, the friendship will be ruined. What should I do? Keisha.
She has no physical attraction
No,
to him
she's
at all.
saying she does now.
She does now.
She's look, I'm afraid if I try dating him and it doesn't work out, the friendship will be ruined. What should I do?
That's a hot.
Yes, it is.
Well, she has to dive into her fear first. Meaning that she has to really do a self-reflection of saying, okay, if I decide to with this person that is willing to have that risk to this person. Because what happens with love is that a lot of times why a lot of relationships don't work anymore is that we go in with expectation. If he does this, if he does that, then I'll do that. And then as a result, you're constantly waiting for this and this to happen and this to line up, and then looking for that guarantee. And then we end up self-sabotaging the relationship. So if you decide that you care about this man, and you may have to dig in to find if you really love this person to know if this is worth the risk that you're willing to do. I think what's more important is that you ask yourself, what is it that you want from him, how much you value him, and how much you value yourself. And you've been dating, you've dated other people, you know what the friendships are like with him versus with some other folks. And you know what the value is here. You have to just be willing to take that risk and try not to focus on what the outcome is going to be.
Okay. Angie.
I said go.
Yeah.
Simple as that, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if the, you know what,
Sure.
the best relationships are with the friendships first.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think, I mean, if she's attracted to him, they have a great friendship. What can be better than that?
Exactly. That's where I'm at. Actually, I've heard this over years, a different situation, not me personally, but I don't want to ruin the friendship. Like,
Why do they
that's
think
who you want to be? That's exactly who you want to be with your friend, like
Yeah,
somebody
exactly.
you
Right.
relate with. So,
But why do they think they're going to ruin the friendship?
because they go into this with a situation with the preconceived notion that it's going to fail.
Right.
So yeah. So then it's like there's expectations.
Those
what it is.
expectations
yeah.
are coming back in.
So as a
Yeah.
friend, I get up in the morning. If my friend hasn't sent me a good morning, I don't care. But if I have a boyfriend,
All of
and
a sudden, yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, wait, why hasn't he sent me a good morning or anything? I see he's active on social media. So there's expectations, and that's probably what she means by, maybe
Doing the checking into your fear.
I
And
mean, a lot of people, especially with love and sex and relationships, they start from a place of fear
Mhm.
instead of just look. If it works, you're way ahead of the game. If it doesn't
Right.
work, then maybe your friendship wasn't as strong as you thought it was to begin with, and you didn't really lose anything. But you know, it's worth the risk. It's always worth the risk. If you're attracted to somebody, it's always worth the risk to take a chance and try to make it work. So stop being afraid. Stop trying to ruin the friendship, because right now you're gonna ruin the friendship anyway. Because eventually he's gonna be like, "Yo, I'm out. I can't deal with this because I like you."
And not only that, she's attracted to him now. So now when he brings in a girlfriend,
right? Either way, they're gonna both be
and plus she's already changing before anything's even happened.
Right. So you're the chance. All right. Well, that is the advice thing. And hey, if you want to get our opinion, get our help, at DJ Silk, at the End Podcast, those are Instagrams. Angie Jerez.
AngieJerez.com and Angie_Jerez on Instagram, Twitter.
Okay. All right. So now I still got to learn these buttons, people, because this is all new. It's time to close it out. And this is the part of the show where we do a little reflecting before we say goodbye and see if any of us learned anything. Why? What did I do?
She needs to tell her information.
No, we're going to get to that. Oh, yeah.
You might
Just part of, exactly. Wait till his cameras are off. See what happens.
I'm glad you're looking out for it.
Okay, wait, he's ending it. He's not putting your information. What's going on here?
No, it's all love. So Keshia, did you learn anything today?
I did. I got to see what it's like with the DMs and what's still going on out there in the world. That was interesting. You know, you're in your little conscious bubble. You're like, that stuff doesn't exist anymore. People aren't doing that.
They are.
They are, yeah.
Cool. Angie, did you learn anything?
Yes, I absolutely did. I learned about not having resistance, and learned a lot about energy, and vibrations.
Okay. All right. I learned about my friend Keshia and her new superpowers, and I am so proud of her, and just the idea that people are out here doing great things, and that's what makes me happy. Like, if my friends are winning, then I'm winning. So congratulations.
You.
Your book. What's your book again?
It's called Open That Life Makes Sense.
And where can they get that?
They can get it on my website, which is KeshiaMartin.com.
Okay. All right. Cool. And any other social media things you want to share?
Sure. I am on Instagram as Keshia Martin, Twitter, Keish Martin, and Facebook, and also on YouTube. I do a lot of YouTube videos as well.
Okay. And stay tuned for her podcast. Wink, wink.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have that too.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We're going to work that out.
You can follow me on that.
So once again, guys, thank you for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you tell your people about it. Share, check out
Definitely
the site, the podcast, Instagram page, comment. We'll be adding content and all that good stuff. And I guess a website will come sooner or later. I don't know. We'll have to talk to Miss Jerez about all that. So until the next time, be good, stay safe, and thank you.
Bye.